What is love to you? What does love mean to you? What are the philosophies that you hold close to your heart? What happens when you live out various emotions?
What up, YouTube? My name is Riz Ill, and I'd like to welcome you back to my channel. And today, we're gonna get back to George Carlin. We're gonna be reacting to. I don't know whether it's the same set, because honestly, he looks like the same in all of them, and they're all from like back in the day. And he's wearing all black in all of them. Even in some interviews, I saw like he's wearing all black and stuff. It's like it's very confusing. So I don't know whether this is from the same set. But this one is titled George Carlin Soft Language. And after a while, I think my last reaction was the religion is bullshit one. That was a really good reaction. I loved it. I loved the conversations that I had with people uh, after it, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one. He's very, whether you agree with him or disagree with him in things, one thing you can say is you love the conversations he brings up, and the way he mixes them with satirical humor. How do you Americans and British people say it? Is it satirical or satirical humor? Either way. So without further ado, let's get to it.
But it didn't happen. And one of the reasons is because we were using that soft language. That language that takes the life out of life. And it is a function of time. It does keep getting worse. Give me another example. Sometime during my life, toilet paper became bathroom tissue. I wasn't notified of this. No one asked me if I agreed with it. It just happened. Toilet paper became bathroom tissue. Sneakers became running shoes. False teeth became dental appliances. Medicine became medication. Information became directory assistance. The dump became the landfill. Car crashes became automobile accidents. Partly cloudy became partly sunny. Motels became motor lodges. House trailers became mobile homes. Used cars became previously owned transportation.
Americans, I see where this is going, but like America specifically, I'm not so sure about Britain and all of that. But yeah, I've heard that they're going through the same thing. Guys, this is from back in the day. Tell me, how bad is it now in terms of these like different censorships and like these different things, like basically infringing on like your ability to have free speech or whatever, or to call us, basically call a spade, call whatever it is, because I personally think in terms of these situations, before we go further into this, that these like censorships and whatnot have been taken too far. You know, like the purpose of these things, like certain words being censored or being said, like you don't use that word or whatever, or don't keep on like pushing and like what you call like keep on labeling and all of that, like with these type of words, was because those words were used to harm people, they were used to hurt people, they were used to bully people, they were used to degrade and remove the humanity from people. And once you do that, you pretty much feel as a human being surrounded by like-minded human beings that you can do whatever you want to these particular human beings. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why those things were censored in the first place. But I feel like it's gone from those things which have been censored to now, okay, what else can we censor that literally wasn't doing that much harm or any harm at all? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like like me personally, I've gone through those type of things, especially living in a foreign country, a country with a particular history and r- repute as South Africa, you know, with racism, with xenophobia, all of that shit still exists within their society today strongly. It's a problem. They even have built a reputation for themselves with other Africans. You know, other Africans continuously chastise them for these things, because a lot of like our fellow Africans have gone through those things in their country, and I'm one of those fellow Africans that have grown up and gone through those different like things within their country. But it's gone from like stopping those things from happening and that level of tribalism and discrimination from happening, to now we're just going to take your free speech and everything, and we're just going to censor you and force you into a path that you're not even a part of, and it has nothing to do with you. Like, hey, America is confusing to me, guys. I don't know. You leave your comments below.
Room service became guest room dining, and constipation became occasional irregularity. When I was a little kid, if I got sick, they wanted me to go to the hospital and see the doctor. Now they want me to go to a health maintenance organization or a wellness center to consult a healthcare delivery professional. Poor people used to live in slums. Now the economically disadvantaged occupy substandard housing in the inner cities. And they're broke. They're broke. They don't have a negative cash flow position. They're fucking broke. Because a lot of them were fired. You know, fired. Management wanted to curtail redundancies in the human resources area, so many people are no longer viable members of the workforce. Smug, greedy, well-fed white people have invented a language to conceal their sins. It's as simple as that. The CIA doesn't kill anybody anymore. They neutralize people. Or they depopulate the area. The government doesn't lie. It engages in disinformation. The Pentagon actually measures nuclear radiation in something they call sunshine units. Israeli murderers are called commandos. Arab commandos are called terrorists. Contra killers are called freedom fighters.
I need a minute for that one. With what we're going through with Israel and Palestine, we need a moment of silence for that one. Aye. Let's go.
Well, if crime fighters fight crime and firefighters fight fire, what do freedom fighters fight? They never mention that part of it to us, do they? Never mention that part of it. And some of this stuff is just silly. We all know that. Like on the airlines, they say they want a pre-board. Well, what the hell is pre-board? What does that mean? To get on before you get on? They say they're going to pre-board those passengers in need of special assistance. Cripples! Simple, honest, direct language. There's no shame attached to the word cripple that I can find in any dictionary. No shame attached to it. In fact, it's a word used in Bible translations. Jesus healed the cripples. Doesn't take 7 words to describe that condition. But we don't have any cripples in this country anymore. We have the physically challenged. Is that a grotesque enough evasion for you? How about differently abled? I've heard them called that, differently abled. You can't even call these people handicapped anymore. They'll say, we're not handicapped, we're handy-capable. These poor people have been bullshitted by the system into believing that if you change the name of the condition, somehow you'll change the condition. Well, hey, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. We have no more deaf people in this country, hearing impaired. No one's blind anymore, partially sighted or visually impaired. We have no more stupid people. Everybody has a learning disorder. Or he's minimally exceptional. How would you like to be told that about your child? He's minimally exceptional. Oh, thank God for that. Psychologists actually have started calling ugly people those with severe appearance deficits. It's getting so bad that any day now I expect to hear a rape victim referred to as an unwilling sperm recipient. And we have no more old people in this country. No more old people. We shipped them all away, and we brought in these senior citizens. Isn't that a typically American 20th century phrase? Bloodless.
I'm still getting over the rape line, yo. That's crazy, but it is going that way, yeah? At least in the West, it is going that way. Like, I've stressed this in other videos. Africa, we safe. We're not going through this. But every time we look at America, you guys seem to be going through it, bro. Like, yo.
Bloodless, lifeless. No pulse in one of them. A senior citizen. But I've accepted that one. I've come to terms with it. I know it's here to stay. We'll never get rid of it. That's what they're going to be called, so I'll relax on that. But the one I do resist, the one I keep resisting, is when they look at an old guy and they'll say, look at him, Dan, he's 90 years young. Imagine the fear of aging that reveals. To not even be able to use the word old to describe someone, to have to use an antonym. And fear of aging is natural, it's universal, isn't it? We all have that. No one wants to get old, no one wants to die, but we do. So we bullshit ourselves. I started bullshitting myself when I got to my 40s. As soon as I was in my 40s, I'd look in the mirror and I'd say, well, I guess I'm getting older. Older sounds a little better than old, doesn't it? Sounds like it might even last a little longer. Bullshit, I'm getting old. And it's okay, because thanks to our fear of death in this country, I won't have to die. I'll pass away. Or I'll expire like a magazine subscription. If it happens in the hospital, they'll call it a terminal episode. The insurance company will refer to it as negative patient care outcome. And if it's the result of malpractice, they'll say it was a therapeutic misadventure. I'm telling you, some of this language makes me want to vomit. Well, maybe not vomit. Makes me want to engage in an involuntary personal protein spill.
Alright, people, I've just been interrupted and been given a whole lot of shit to do, so let me finish this first and then let me get on with my day. What can I say about this George Carlin on soft language? It's basically the things I've been saying in terms of like the little commentary I've been giving in between the reaction video, where it's like, how far are we willing to take it in terms of our delusion and in terms of our sensitivity? Because honestly speaking, guys, if I may, honestly, from life experience, if I may speak from myself, as a person that's been bullied, that's been racially abused, that's been xenophobically abused and attacked, growing up through my life, even I am not that sensitive. I get that some of these things are done because a lot of the things that that happen to people are detrimental, and they lead to a lot of harmful mental effects and like life effects in general. It affects your life, and I don't at all take bullying or whatever like lightly and all of that, because I've even had these conversations with like a few friends of mine in terms of like the whole bullying thing and the whole like targeting people thing. And I've always counted like me and other people I've known that have gone through it like around me as lucky, because I've seen it happen to us, like all these different things, and I've seen us grow stronger and survive it and maybe turn into something maybe formidable, maybe stronger, able to tackle these things maturely and hopefully without any negative emotions that cloud our judgments and cloud our actions. But I've also seen people that have maybe killed themselves, maybe died, maybe they've gone through a lot of turmoil due to these things happening with them. So I understand the reason for the whole soft language thing. And yes, I do agree that certain words and certain things that are being used to sort of be put on like different like cultures of people and like to label them this way in order to give certain cultures, let's not only, I always stress this on my channel, let's not only point at white people, because all of us have done that shit. Whites, blacks, Asians, whatever you are, all of us have done this shit to our fellow man. So let's not just put that label on like just one race. We've all done that shit. So I get that as all of us, we have done certain things and placed certain labels on certain peoples in order to give ourselves as a group and as a tribe and as a nation an excuse to do the most horrendous things to people. That is why we censor and we remove those words, and we what do you call, only the Swahili word for it is coming to my head, but we basically scold and we basically rebuke people from engaging in those actions because we know the effects, we know our history. But there is such a thing as taking it too far. There is such a thing as infringing on people's basic rights and basic speech just because you're overly sensitive, when honestly speaking, as I've said in this video, a spade is a spade. You understand what I'm saying? A spade is a spade. I might be censored. A retarded person is a retarded person. He's not mentally child. A retard is a retard, guys. Like, come on. The person is retarded. What do you want me to do? It's not my fault he's retarded. I've never picked on a retarded person. I've mostly, every time I see a retarded person, it makes me sort of like think about life and think about how lucky we are and think, shit, how can we help that person? It's never in my head to pick on those people. But it is what it is. A disabled and a crippled person is a crippled and disabled person. There is no long form for that shit. I get that they've gone through things also in terms of being bullied and being discriminated against, but their condition is their condition. It is what it is. It's something that needs to be identified and then make the steps in order to make those people as comfortable as they can be in this experience of life that they already got a disadvantage in, honestly speaking. But this other shit of like overly censoring shit, when there's other things that we still need to build upon, like racism and all of that shit that we still need to build upon and still need to have conversations about and still need to find a right way forward. We're wasting time shifting the attention from that to shit that doesn't even matter. It's a waste of time. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the post notifications. I got a lot of shit to do as I give these final thoughts, but I just thought I'd give my final thoughts before I leave. Thank you for watching this reaction. Shout out to George Carlin. I don't know if he's still alive, but great work.
Okay, any you doom, son of the moon, but I shine like the sun. How many number ones needed for a hell of a run? Y'all act like women at that time of the month. I've been forced to recognize the real world.